Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We are out at the dealership. Yeah, the combine's broke down again. I tell you, it's the green paint. You gotta have a subscription for everything nowadays. You gotta have a subscription to the parts on a green combine. No, but there was a hole worn through on the clean grain elevator. And how long it's been there and trickling corn out, we have no idea. But I did manage to get one. Actually, they sold their last one yesterday. Go figure. And he didn't think he had any more, but he did find one for a high capacity, which he thinks we might have. So I'm taking that anyway. He's got the other one ordered. It's going to be here tomorrow. If all else fails, we'll just weld a patch over it and, just go from there. But anyway, that is what's going on before I head to the farm here this morning. And we'll see if we can get that changed. We'll see if that stirrator isn't totally buried. We'll see you then. Go find out if our stirrator's stuck. Wow. Actually leveled it all out, and I don't think we can really put more in here. Well, that's good. We don't have to mess with that. Can't believe it leveled it out that nice though. Well, somehow that stirrator made it through, leveled everything out nice. So I'm gonna get the baby truck emptied into the bin. Should go in there now. Well, we got the grain cart empty so that I can take this to the other farm. Dad is going to run ahead of me, get to the combine so that he can put that new grain tank elevator door on. Basically, all that happens is when those paddles are going around and bringing that clean grain up to the top bin, it just wears a hole in that bottom door. You got to replace it every now and then. It's pretty common. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and head this tractor out, meet him up there so that he can bring me back for the Kenworth, and then we should be good to roll. We only need the combine, the cart, and the Kenworth for this next farm because it's all going home. Anytime I can catch him with the cart, I will, but I'm basically just going to be sitting in the Kenworth the whole time. He's going to be carting the corn over in the combine to the grain cart. I'll fill the truck and just leave. I can hear that stupid chain dragging, so I should probably get that off the ground. I cannot get that thing set to where it just will not drag. It's just constant. Can you stop? Can you just stay there? Okay, let's get out of here, please. This place has been a nightmare. You know what I will say about this Deere tractor? You know what sound I love the most? Is when you go into road gear in this thing. Just listen, I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds like a spaceship taking off. Oh, it just sounds so good. Probably shouldn't do 25 on this road though, because there are a lot of vehicles that randomly fly and you can't see anything over the hills. So I gotta ride the line, hope that nobody's coming. Yeah, see, look, there's a car coming. I knew it. Well, it didn't take too long. Okay, well, we had to shovel a little bit more off of that stirrator. Not a huge deal, but we decided not to put any more in the bin. We're wasting the day just shoveling stuff, so we're just gonna take the rest of it to town. Anyway, I'm in the semi now. I gotta get this headed over to the new farm. I do need fuel, so Gonna have to stop by in town first because it is somewhat on the way. If I were to just go now and run today, by the time I need fuel, it'd be way more out of the way. So just gonna go ahead and do that now, get over to the farm, and then we'll start picking some more corn. We're finally just, now that we're out of here, everything's going home or to town. It's just smooth sailing from here on out, hopefully. Man, we are really hoping that we can get this field done tonight, because I want to get out of here as well. And then we've got a 40-acre field that really needs to go to town. And with today being a Wednesday, excuse me, today's a Thursday. Gosh, my days are just gone. It's Thursday. Okay. Yeah, so we got Friday and possibly Saturday to get that to town. And the way things have been going, which is not well, we really need all the time we can get just to get that 40 into town, it seems. So I hope we can get done here so we don't have to pull out and come back for, like, 20 acres or 15 acres, whatever. We just need a little luck to get done this fall. It's not going well. So this corn here was actually planted into strip till with cover crops on it, and it's corn on corn, and we ran a strip freshener as well on top of it. So the fact that it looks the way that it does is just amazing, because earlier in the year when it was super dry, I mean, it looked terrible. We killed the rye as fast as possible. We didn't want cover crops on this because it was going to corn on corn. Well, it was going to corn, it was going to beans from corn, and then we wanted more corn acres, so we swapped this to corn on corn, but we'd already had the cover crops in, so it was kind of, okay, we got to kill the cover crop as fast as possible, because you never really want to put grass in front of grass, because it just uses your nitrogen and things like that. So we terminated the cover crop immediately. Still looked like crap because we had no rain. I mean, for a strip till, corn on corn, cover crop, acres, it really doesn't look bad. I mean, Dad said it's making, I think he said like 210, 220 anyway. So for the year and what we did with it, it's really not looking too bad. I mean, you should have seen it in the spring. It was, he thought he was going to have to tear it up and replant it, seriously. That's how bad it looked. But it came out of it. And it's making 220 or so. Never going to do a cover crop, corn on corn, strip tilled situation. I mean, unless we figure out a better way to do it, maybe don't use an annual rye or cereal rye, excuse me. Corn it loves the ground around it to be super clean. It's very picky. The fun finally begins. I got to take this truck home and get our grain system up and running again. I'll probably just dump this one in, get some into the wet holding bin. I won't start it yet because otherwise it may run out by the time I get back, but I'll probably put about 2,000 bushel in. Start the dryers. I got to check that big bin of ours, that 55,000 bushel bin, because it's got to be getting close to full. Okay, first things first, we keep leaving this down and it just gets full of water. We keep forgetting about it. So that's got to be fixed. Oh, it smells really good, by the way. Wish you could smell this. Whew. Wow, that's awful. So basically what we need to do is anytime we're not picking corn, which is not going to be anymore, or we know it's going to rain, just lift this thing up so that it doesn't get water in it. Uh-oh. It's just clicking. Why are you just clicking? What happened here? Why are we doing this? Okay. I didn't do anything. It just started working again. Anybody else notice that these beetles are just everywhere this year? I mean, they used to be really bad. I mean, to the point where they would just swarm stuff, and then they kind of disappeared for a long time, and now they're kind of bad this year. I don't know why. I'm gonna grab a little sample of this corn, test the moisture on it because we don't know what it's at. Feels pretty wet. Feels like, I'm gonna guess 21%. That's about right. Let's calibrate this. This is at 20%. It's calibrated at 33 for high moisture corn because I believe it's above 20. It just feels waxy, but I think it's above 20 yet. Either that or it's just because it's cold, I don't know, but we'll go ahead and calibrate it at 33. Turn this down, up there, operate. Uh-oh, I dropped a kernel. Throw a kernel back in. And we know it's weighing good because it's not filling the cup, so it's weighing pretty good. About 47. 18.19. About 60 degrees, which is another 0.85. So about 19% even. What did I say, 21? It's actually drier than I thought. Let's go ahead and let's check this bin here, this 55,000 bushel bin. I have no idea where it's at. I mean, I do, if I were to figure up all the numbers that I've got, usually I've got like an Excel spreadsheet with our field view. I just kind of take numbers off of there and off of the cart, and we get it really close to yield and stuff like that. And I know exactly how much has gone into this bin. I've got it all written down on a notepad. I just haven't figured it. And with the Excel spreadsheet, it does it all for me. I've got it all built to where it just calculates everything for me. Don't have that this year with the whole combine thing. We don't have our yield sensor or anything, so I don't have it. So I'm not, unless I sat and figured everything up, I don't know where this is at. Whew. Pretty high up here. She's about, she's lopsided to one side. But yeah, she's about a ring maybe. I don't know how many bushel it is per ring. Let me check here. That's pretty easy to figure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 9 rings. 55 divided by 9, 54 divided by 9 is 6, so about 6,000 bushel each ring, about somewhere in there. So if we've got a ring left, I'd probably be comfortable putting another 5,000 bushel in there. But since that's the case, I'm betting I probably just want to switch it now to this bin here, because the wet holding bin can hold 8,000 bushels, so I can always top this one off later when the wet holding bin is full at night or something. I can swap over and just let it run out into that. Gosh, I don't know. Let me check if the doors are in on this bin. They are in. So say he should have put these in earlier this year, but always want to make sure. So I can just go to that bin. It's not even, we haven't even shot anything into this one or the 10,000 bushel bin. So I talked to Dad a little more, and he thinks that this baby bin is going to be able to hold all of it there, although he said it is doing much better than that 220 that we thought it was going to be. Once he sees a major difference on where I ran that strip freshener compared to where I didn't. I set a test spot there, and he's going to be able to get the weights for me there, see what kind of difference that made. But he said visually it's very, very different, much better where I did run the freshener. Understandably, I knocked away all that cover crop that was on there and just got the rows cleaned up. I said corn really likes clean rows. I mean, it just makes sense with that strip freshener. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a little bit into the biggest bin here, the 55,000 bushel bin. And then this holds 12,000, the baby bin. So might want to go up and open the bins first. It's about the time I come back here and just start everything up and forget that those are closed. We're gonna have a bad day. This is getting a little broken. Might need to set up some new wire. This wire is busted. Yowie. That just went through my thumb. Okay, how am I gonna do this without cutting myself open? It's a good thing I got my tetanus shot. Actually, you know, I don't think I've had a tetanus shot in I don't even know how long. Look at that, I can see all of our compaction lines. Definitely gonna have to rip that section, even though we're gonna strip till this. We'll have to rip some of the end rows that we take quite a bit. I've got some roads built here through the waterway and on up through the 93 that I'm definitely gonna have to rip. Wish we had a different ripper. We've got that MX 690, or I think it's an MX 690. That thing is just, it breaks up compaction, obviously, it does its job, but man, it just leaves it so rough in the spring. Whenever you're running the finisher, about throw you out the cab. Now we'll go for the baby bin. This is basically going to be my view every time I come back here. The cart will be full, the combine will be full, he'll be taking a nap, and I'll be unloading the cart and getting out of here so fast that I can't hardly stand it driving. Okay, we made it back. Now we got to set these dryers, get everything set going. I got to turn the spreader on in the bin, and just this is going to take some time. I got to get the heat set. I got to check this corn again because Dad said it looks like 21-22%, which is exactly what I said too. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's getting wetter as he goes through the field, or maybe I got a dry spot for a patch of corn. I don't know, but I think it's like 21%. So we're gonna test again, get the dryers up and running, get it running into the bin. Once we get the dryers set and running, it's really no big deal. I just kind of keep pulling in here and dumping and just go. He doesn't sit much then, but right now he's gonna be napping. This is the fall weather that I've been waiting for. So nice out right now. I don't even need this, honestly, but it's like just brisk enough. When the wind hits, I do need it, but without any breeze, I mean, I could just be out here in a t-shirt. It's absolutely beautiful out. Anyway, I need to get this running in. because you can see some pockets in the sides here where the corn is down too far. I gotta fill the rest of these sides, so I'll get that filled, and then I'll be able to start the fan and the fire and all that good stuff. But until then, I think I'm just gonna take a seat somewhere and enjoy this beautiful weather. Looks like all the sides are full, that I can see anyway. I let it run for a little while longer. Once I seen those kind of get full. So it's probably good to go. I can go ahead and switch this to automatic. Get the fan started. I'm gonna let that warm up a little bit before I start anything as far as the metering system. I'll go ahead and get the spreader turned on the bin, maybe, if I can get this open. Should be it. Not have been full enough. Go ahead and leave that on. I really thought that dryer would be full. Can't believe it wasn't. Basically what happened there is I tried to set it in operate, so it wasn't in startup mode anymore. It was all automatic. Well, one of the pads was getting pressed to shut everything down basically, and I'm assuming it just wasn't full enough yet, and so it shut it down because it was saying, okay, we're out of corn, I'm gonna shut everything down. So once I let that run for a little bit longer, get it filled up to where it's hitting that pressure plate, or it's above that pressure plate, I'll be able to start everything again and hopefully get it into operate so that I can leave, because it needs to be in operate, automatic mode basically, for when I leave, just in case something happens. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and climb this and see where it's at. Oh heck, she's full, I better go. I don't know then. That's definitely full though. I'm gonna sit here and make sure that this turns off before I leave, because it was awfully full and I'm not sure why it's running. We're good to go. Get the heck out of here. I'm sure Dad's probably had at least a half an hour nap anyway. We'll let that run for a couple of hours, and yeah, then we'll switch over to the new bin. Oh, I may not have said this yet, but I did test that corn again. It was about 19.5%, so I would say it's right in there, 19.5, maybe 20 in its wettest points, but that's not going to change much with the dryer. It'll all mix in together, probably be around that 19.5 anyway. So once I get the dryer set, it should stay pretty consistent. We were a little worried, obviously, with that field because of the corn on corn cover crop. Some of it was still green, it kind of looked like crap all year, and so we thought it was going to be jumping all over the place as far as moisture. Looks like it's going to be okay. Well, we've managed to make a few rounds, and I get back and the dryer is shut off. I see why. The good news, that belt and everything was still spinning, meaning this section, this is not plugged, which is a good thing. Something just got in the way here where it cannot get down into this auger, so something is plugging this. Of course it made a mess, but what are you gonna do? So I have to unclog that. Oh, I forgot some beans. On the bright side, I did want to switch bins anyway, so now that it's shut off, I might as well switch over to the other bin. Ugh, disgusting. There we go. Now it's seated. Go get the spreader turned on. Oh, you know what? This might have a gravity now. I think this does have a gravity spreader. What is that? The plug. Basically all I'm doing here is I'm backing this up so that it can get a running start when I start it. Okay, so I called Dad, see if he kind of knew what might be going on. So he's thinking that the screw might have come apart on the auger, or I don't know, something. But basically, if this screw came apart anywhere, this would still be able to turn. However, it would not be bringing the corn up in the boot, which would make sense. So we're hoping, well, we're hoping that's not the case, but I'm assuming this came apart somewhere, maybe up at the top here, and this pulley is still turning. The motor is still turning the pulley. However, yeah, it's not actually moving this screw at all. It's just turning the pulley. But that still doesn't explain. It should still be able to turn on, and the motor should be able to turn. But me being able to turn this easily is not a good sign. So he's gonna come down and we're gonna try and figure out what the heck is going on here, but I'm assuming this just came totally disconnected from that screw. Is it moving? Is it really? Really? I can turn it that easy. Okay. Well, that's good. I couldn't see both at the same time, so okay, that's a plus. However, why is it still tripping the overload? It's tripped right now. Turn off the, did you turn the auger off?
We'll watch the auger, see if it turns.
Okay. That's good. $13.10. We need to speed it up another 2 turns at least. Oh! It's coming there. It's coming from the top of the bin, definitely. Let me go check it, I guess.
They didn't put my screen back on there, did they?
Well, you don't have your filter on there either, so it's just hitting the top of the motor.
My filter?
Yeah, the cone.
Oh, yeah.
It's hitting the flat and just bouncing out. And the screen is not on there, right?
They didn't put the screen back up.
Yeah. But that's gonna be a lot of corn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Half-inch wrench. New spreaders, they put a cone top on the motor.
Like you fabricated
like
earlier?
I fabricated, yes.
I mean, it makes sense. That way they don't just plink on top of that thing. Well, that was interesting. Do you ever have that where nothing's working and then somebody else just comes along and pushes the on button and it just works? My dad seems to have that effect on most things. He just, I don't know if it's from me just spinning that enough that it kind of freed it up and then it worked after that or what, but he literally just walked over and turned it on and it just ran. So I have no idea. But anyway, we got switched over to the little bin. We had that issue, the corn was flying off the top of the bin. They forgot to put the mesh back when they put that spreader in. And so luckily I asked him if it was a gravity spreader or not, because we had some put in. I figured that one might be, it's small enough bin, you know, but no, he did say that one is electric. It just had a toggle switch on it that I didn't know. So anyway, everything should be back to business again. So we're gonna go pick some more corn for a little ways yet tonight. It is very dark and pretty late, but it's really good running right now. Beautiful weather.